hello. Hey everybody, how y'all doing? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to you wherever you are, whatever time it is when you listen to this. Welcome to my channel. All right, hello everyone. I'm hoping everybody's doing okay. First off, I would like to say thank you to those people who have made donations in 3D in real life. I truly appreciate them all. This is going to be the Life Path 2 reading. All right. Within this being the Life Path 2 reading, basically you just add up all of the numbers to your birthday and you keep adding them up until you get down to a singular number. Life Path 2, right? That's the singular, right? That's the singular portion. Uh, you got high honor, right? What it is to be of high honor and the stability and practicality of shifting things. Some of this is going to be pertaining to some soldiers. Some of this is going to be just about a person being of high honor, right? Uh, due to battle, due to what it is they would have acquired via the battlefield. It's also kind of given that whole competition situation that will be going on. Okay, and Life Path 2, something else that is, okay, something else that it's giving is what it is, what the changes are, or the changes it is that would be made in regards to being a main female and a mature woman. Okay, so in this whole change aspect, there being the high honor that would be given in regards to the main female being, I'm hearing being a mature woman. So, and no, because the way that this is coming right now is 25, 26. So it's like escalation, something like that. Realistically, it's not escalation, it'll be about the elevation by three of what it is that goes on in order for one to, within being the main focus, to go into being mature or having to mature. Now, true enough, this is saying main female and mature woman, but this is giving more so of feelings. 222 when I said that. It'll be about the feeling and emotional maturity. Okay? What it is to be emotionally mature or have to, there's a difference between having emotional intelligence versus applying emotional intelligence. You can know how you feel all day and night long. You can know what you want your boundaries to be all day and night long, Life Path 2, right? But are you putting them into place? That's going to be what's really important for you to examine in regards to this, all right? So you got Queen of Cups, right? The feeling of love, the intuitive nature that comes into place with the thoughts and what it is to feel love. Bless my soul. I've been alone too long. Somebody without someone is no one at all. Now, when you listen to the words to a lot of these different songs, the song as a whole is great. But when you really pay attention to it, do you really want to feel that because you don't have a person that you don't have importance? That's one of the things that comes into place with this, with especially with this Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio portion, or this feeling love, right? And what it means to feel love, and feel love. Okay, so paying attention to that, and I love that song actually. That's by Kirby. She's great. I love her. Uh, because the overall message of the song is how you change when you're in love with someone, right? You notice certain things would be shifting or different, right? And then the overall essence of a wish fulfillment and happiness, right? In regards to the tradition. Okay, Queen of Cups, tradition, uh, Queen of Cups, Hierophant reverse, Strength reverse, the Bach reverse, Knight of Cups reverse. Oh my goodness. Huh. How a person would feel loved if someone is jealous. Y'all playing them jealousy games. Oh my goodness, don't do that. Now that's for the lowest vibration, right? That's the root chakra stuff. At the mid vibration is about whether or not an individual has an opportunity to be jealous, right? But also it'll be about a passed on loved one that would have been really loving and really nurturing, right? And at the highest vibration, it'll be about being unapologetic. Do not, what I will say in regards to this, her being jealous is not a compliment. 555, as I said that. A person being jealous is not a good thing because jealousy and envy, and I look Ignicus and Leviathan, right? Not the Levites, but our Ignicus and Levi, the you know, uh, taking hold and being a part of this situation, right? Uh, but ultimately, what it's giving is in this whole Knight of Cups aspect of Knight of Cups in reverse, right? I haven't gotten to the alchemical portion. If you're an alchemist, though, okay. Like that too. But yeah, so ultimately, in regards to this, you got to pay attention to the traditions that come into place when one doesn't go on another day and doesn't have options in them being jealous, or they don't have options within, or options or opportunities. And even in July, there were some things. July, I'm saying July, but I'm hearing you lie, right? Yeah, it's giving that you lie, black girl, you lie. It's that portion. The other portion of it is going to be in regards to when you're unapologetic. You don't need to have options when you're unapologetic for who you are. That's that part. And then one not having opportunities due to them being unapologetic for who they are. So whether this is you, life path two, and where you are, or this is someone else, right? You really got to pay attention to um, where your emotional intelligence is in regards to one being held in high honor and being the main focus, right? Yeah, because it's giving it's giving a person wanting a whole bunch, wanting attention, wanting all of the attention, which could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. It depends. This is going to be totally up to you because life path two, your main focus is the stability, is being stable, right? At the highest vibration, when you're nurturing as the tradition, there isn't a need of options of someone who would be jealous of either you or another individual. Okay. The other portion is going to be in regards to what it is that would have taken place when you would have nurtured someone who would have been older, an older gentleman. I don't, if, yeah, for some of this is going to be about fathers. Others it's going to be about that daddy and zaddy shit that comes into place. No, because I'm hearing the song by Beyonce about how someone would want someone like their father. I posted this a really long time ago on my Facebook when I had it. Whether your father was there or not, he taught you lessons. Okay? Whether he was there or not, he taught you lessons. If he was there, it would have been direct. If he wasn't there, it would have been indirect. Okay? So you got to pay attention to what it is that will be going on. The other portion of this, right, is going to be what it is that would have taken place if you were raised in a same sex household, right? So, yeah, because some people like to get real finicky in regards to this. One of those, well, I had two moms or I had two dads. Well, one person will always be a masculine presence or the father presence, while the other one would be a feminine presence, right? Or a mother presence, right? So there's that portion. The other part of this that I'm seeing in regards to this, it'll be about what it is that would be going on in the alchemical aspect of uh, the transcendental spiritual truths being able to go on another day, even within there being, yeah, it being these unclear options and opportunities, and what it is that would have gone on in July with there being an apology and what constituted as an apology in July. Yeah, because an apology in July or an apology for July. Hmm. And the presentation of a cup. Now, I know they always say that the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving knight in the deck. However, I disagree for common sense reasons. You can move really fast when you have a pentacle. You can't move that fast when you have a full cup. Especially if you want to keep all the contents in the cup. The golden child is something that I always refer to within this. Yeah, that's the talk portion of higher knowing more, and the application of things versus the visual representation. So, in short, Life Path 2, what is given is the literal versus the figurative. And if you are basing things out of a figurative mindset, then you really need to pay attention to what, yeah, if you're basing it out of a figurative mindset, but you're a literal person, or things would be coming around you in the figurative or figuratively speaking, opposed to literal. Yeah, because it's given that whole Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, or what it is that you would have nurtured, and us being in that Aquarian aspect, that's given a lot of this. Oh, well, that technically stuff that would be going on. I want to say shit, but no, because what that's giving is, have you paid attention to your bowel movements and the lack of mathematics aspect of it? If you've had a bowel movement or not. Yeah, when a person would say that someone's full of it, if you've had a bowel movement or not. One of the things that I've noticed that has happened with older people when I was working with them is when they haven't had a bowel movement, their stomach would expand. And when I tell you, I have seen some things, ladies and gentlemen, if you are backed up, even if you poop just a little bit, because there are multiple forms of constipation. That's the other part of it that you need to pay attention to. Just because you're pooping or peeing doesn't mean that you're not constipated. So yeah, because constipated, that's the blockages and being stopped up and all that other stuff. Yeah, so pay attention to that, especially in the blockages inside one's heart. And if heart disease, lung disease, and heart disease and lung disease and ovarian disease, if those things run in your family, right? And prostate. I'm saying this because of the older men portion that's really jumping out in this knowing more. If you know that heart disease or heart blockages and needing stents and all that other stuff, right? Stents, yeah, and there being different stents in certain situations. You would need to pay attention to that, right? And how one wouldn't have had an opportunity to even look into that. So that's the lack of the mathematics portion. So you're gonna have to pay that some attention. The other part of this, right, that comes into place with this is in the spiritual contract or regular contract. Pay attention to what it is you're signing, ladies and gentlemen, in regards to there not a cycle being incomplete with one walking in one's truth. Initially, it's the whole Gemini aspect of the doing what you feel and the intelligence. You have to have the intelligence, life path too, to even walk in your truth, to know what cycles are incomplete or what's incomplete in a cycle. I know I posted it earlier, but if you haven't gotten a signature, then the cycle is incomplete, which means it's null and void. You can't hold a person to a particular standard and a double standards that'll come into place. You can't hold a person to a standard when you haven't taken the initiative for the contract to even be signed. Yeah, you making contracts with certain shit and you don't even know how it would manifest for that person or what it is that person would nurture or pay attention to within this incomplete cycle. Some of this other stuff is the truth of the names. If you know what a person's name means, then you need to pay that some attention too. Because yeah, whenever this world card comes in reverse, it's pertaining to usually a person named Steven, a person named Heather, Reith, or a Reith, and the double, yeah, and the truth of it being incomplete cycle due to what it is that will be going on in a spiritual connection, and how spiritual connections are affected in regards to certain practices that will go on. It came up, so y'all know, yeah, how a person would intentionally mess up or botch your cycles with the burning of 9 candles, so that you wouldn't be able to do what would be necessary in a spiritual contract. And the hatred, oh, that comes into place with lovers reciprocating and there being movement, or how a person would reciprocate and there would be movement. One of the things is coming out right now, so I'll go ahead and talk about it. One of the things, Life Path 2, right? I'm gonna give you this example and hopefully it'll help you out. I'll keep this out. All right. Um, there, I was living in a building at one point, and in the basement of the building, there were sigils and things of that nature that required and that it would be lovers only. Now, when you are at a higher vibration, you understand lovers mean Gemini. It also means doing what you feel, right? And what the intent is, someone who isn't learned and studied, absolutely. When you know more than the person putting a sigil or putting a stamp on something, okay? So there's that portion. But the landlord, what he was doing was he was drawing off of the actual essence, the love essence of those people who were lovers, and he didn't like children, and he didn't like children at all, really. Landlords, I'm gonna go ahead and put this out here. If you're a life path two and you're a landlord, you need to pay attention to where, yeah, because those people who are just quote unquote lovers, you're gonna get a lot of people who don't like to pay bills, even with splitting it, right? A person who has children has a tendency to really want to pay their bills. That's part one. And if you're drawing off of the essence, you're already by right getting your payment through that sigil. So by right, whoever it is that will be living there, if they're meeting the requirements, by right they don't have to pay anything. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Don't be practicing and you don't know what you're doing. Life path two. I'm real shit. You don't know what you're doing. Don't be putting it out there. But in any event, what ended up happening was, as I was in that particular space, um, I did my own cleansings, right? And within me doing my own cleansings, there was a lot of other stuff that was going on. And if you were going, and the other portion of it is, if you're genuinely just putting your spiritual connections into your space so that you can use them, and there being disappointment within the mental abuse and one not having telepathy. If you, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and say this, and it being a third party situation, yeah, one of the that would constitute as a third party situation, um, and or the celebration. If you are practicing in that manner, right? Watching social media is not telepathy. That's the mental abuse that comes into place with it. Also, if you are putting things into place and you're not a Gemini. You're not a lover, but you're requesting that lovers be in your space so you can draw off of their essence and power your own source or whatever. Life path, so you got to pay those things some attention as well. I just use that as an example. Hopefully that helped you guys out just a little bit. But yeah, that constitutes as mental abuse, psychological abuse, and especially if you only use a certain type of or a certain demographic, that's problematic as well, right? The other part of it, right, with being passed away, the disappointment that comes with someone who would have passed away, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, uh, Air Force generals. It's some other types of people that come into place with this, but I don't want to bring that into it. If you know, you know. You don't, you don't. Right? Uh, but there being the celebrations and third party situations that come into place with being an angel or an alchemist over the course of a year. So, Life Path 2, what this is really giving is the changes that come into place with the wish fulfillment and the celebrations. Some of the stuff is going to be about what it is that would have taken place in December. Okay, I just heard I helped him out in December. Life Path 2, you probably shouldn't have did that. You shouldn't have did that because discernment would have told you about the spiritual connections that would have come into place and the disappointment that would have come into place with a person being mentally abusive. And sure, that would have been your opportunity to stand up for yourself and be like, you know what? I said no. I don't think I really want to do that. That don't seem like that's pretty good for me. I've noticed with these life path readings, a lot of people um, yeah, passing and failing their personal tests. So if that's something that you're dealing with, you might need to really look into that life path too. Let me get a heart card for you real quick. And yeah, because what is given is whoever this other life path to, right? Um, this is for someone else, right? You being disappointed in someone who would have passed away. Now, for whatever reason this would have been, right? Um, if a person has a hold on you from the grave and you not listening to what it is they're telling you, you need to examine that in yourself. All right. Overall essence, right? Life path two. The past is now behind you. Release it and embrace new possibilities. A new path is now available to you. Follow it with faith. If you have a new path available to you, or within you having a new path available to you in your heart, life path too, you have to follow that with faith. And what this is giving is mental abuse and telepathy, and you not having telepathy. 2244, meaning certain people won't be able to get to you or make you do certain things. It's pretty much what I'm getting from that. And don't make decisions based on guilt or what you think you should do. For it is only in being true to yourself that you can be true to others. One of these things that it would be coming into place with is going to be about the different opportunities that would have happened. What I'm getting from it is in regard to not loving oneself, so to speak, or learning how to love yourself. And the other portion of it would be in regards to, for real, what constitutes as reciprocation. Like that too, I'm surprised that you're having a problem with this because stability and practicality is something that is really, really important and imperative for you. You would have noticed this as a theme across your life. And if you're doing something based out of guilt, yeah, it's because you're being called out. And what happens when you're being called out on something? Do you correct it or do you become defensive and narcissistic in your thought? Now you can be narcissistic in your thought all you want to, but it's ultimately gonna be about you. Yeah, it's ultimately gonna be about not the necessarily the humanitarian view of the Air Force aspect or those other white knights, but it'll be about the enlightenment that comes within you walking in your truth and doing what you feel, with you knowing that a cycle isn't complete. All right. So I'm hoping it helps you guys out just a little bit, gave you a tad bit of an inclination as to a few different things it is that would be going on. If you like to schedule your own personal touch of clarity, you are more than welcome to do so at Lightwork and Lightwork LLC at gmail.com. I heard, can it be a heritage thing? It can be a heritage thing. That was one of the things, I'll say this, that was one of the things that I noticed that was going on with the other types of knights, right? Whether it be Knights Templar or those other types of knights that I don't want to necessarily bring into my reality because it is what it is. They bullied a lot of people into that mindset. And if you have a new way forward where you not being bullied and a person can't make you hate a person or hate something, you get that's a prime chance to end it with that nine overall essence, two nines, right? Overall essence, and it'll be a probably a destiny path nine for you. You break that cycle, right? You break that cycle of making a person feel a particular type of way because, as we all know, certain mind frames are taught and programmed through harsh conditioning, while others are just natural, right? Pay attention to what's more natural for you because you may be the type of person where intelligence is, or the more you know, right? Is basically what that boils down to, okay? All right, so hopefully it helps you guys out just a little bit, gave you a tad bit of an inclination as to a few different things it is that would be going on. If you like to schedule your own personal touch of clarity, you're more than welcome to do so at Lightwork and Lightwork LLC at gmail.com, okay? Because see, remember, light work, it ain't light work. It is not light work. It's not light work. And that's why you have to stay light while you work. Oh my